What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. Real briefly, this channel is about my life, and so you're gonna see vlogs. We're gonna have vlogs where we travel and where we camp and go to. It's about camping. It's about bushcrafting. It's about survival. It's about self-defense. It's about weaponry. It's about all the things that it looks like we're going back to, that our ancestors have done, just knowing how to do things from a modern standpoint and from an old school standpoint, if you will. So today, we're going to be talking about go bags, at least what's in my go bag. I can't say what's in your go bag because we're going to get into all of that. I'm also part of a community called Farm Fresh 24/7. Make sure you download that app. That app is a community, and you can build that community in any state, anywhere you want. And it's about growers, makers, things that people have in common. If you grow apples, or if you have berries and cherries, and if you're not a farmer, then you fix machinery, or you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a teacher, whatever. Put your skills on the app so people can find you and network with you. They can barter, horse trade, whatever term you want to use, and or pay you for your goods or services. So that's what it's about. And then I'm part of also Collectively Sustainable, which is more about what I'm talking about today. um, that side of survival and what should we be doing, and especially now after the elections and everything, people's tensions are higher now. There's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of division. We're seeing husbands and wives getting divorces. We're seeing children not speaking to their parents anymore. We're seeing a lot of stuff. And people are concerned about civil war or civil. I'm more into civil unrest than civil war. I'm looking at more civil unrest than civil war. Because of people's feelings, views, and opinions, which is why it's kind of important to have a go bag. And let's get into that. So, go bags are the bags that you prepare at home for you and each one of your family members, even your pets, where you have those bags packed and ready in the event that something happens. You can grab that bag, throw it in your vehicle, or throw it on your back and get going with it, right? And that's going to typically have 2 or 3 days of food, maybe six, maybe a week of food. Some people have managed to carry, almost 30 days worth of food, depending on how they have their bags set up and what they want to carry. So I'm going to kind of go over what's in my bag. And remember, this bag is always constantly changing and adjusting because of the time of year, environment, the changes in the world. So your bag is going to constantly be upgrading or changing or downgrading. And you got to remember, everything that you put in this bag, you got to be able to carry on your back. So you might want to get in the practice of, walking with your bag on your back with all the things that you want to carry, to see what that feels like. How far can you go before you have to rest? Is it too heavy? Is everything in there that I need for my needs? So let's kind of get into that as well before I start digging into my bag. Everybody's bag is going to be different depending on your environment. Everybody's bag is going to be different depending on your environment. If you live in a cold weather environment, then you're going to have more things in your bag geared towards keeping you warm, keeping you safe, keeping you fed in a cold weather environment. If you're in a tropical environment, then your bag is going to reflect things that deal with things in tropical environments. If you are in a city environment or urban environment, then maybe more of your things in your bag are going to deal with what's happening in an urban environment. You're going to be carrying things because you live in a city. If you're in the suburbs or semi-rural or rural, your bag is going to reflect your lifestyle and your environment. So if you're in an environment where you're dealing with a lot of woods and things like that, your bag is going to be significantly different than somebody that lives in the city. Your bag may have more saws and more things to cook with and hatchets and the whole 9 yards. You see what I'm saying? So your bag may be different. A person in the city, they may have things that charge up more devices, water access, lockpick kits, self-defense, so on and so on. You see what I'm saying? So let's get this very clear. Nobody's go bag is going to be exactly the same. Let's get that real clear right now. Nobody's go bag is going to be exactly the same and have all the same things. This is just a video on showing you and hopefully giving you some ideas of what to pack in your go bag, and are they good? Should you use them? Should you not use them? It all depends on your situation and your skill level. Another thing I warn you all on, that have came out to our actual events, where we had training classes for this, is a lot of people will buy ready-made go bags and stuff like that and don't know how to work any of the things in them. Get in practice in using the things that are in your bag, because when you're in a panic stress situation and you're trying to figure out something, you're not going to do anything but either quit, give up, or get frustrated. So rather than go through that, the first mental thing that you want to do is to have your head together. Keep your head in the game and stay focused. That is the first thing of survival, is your head game. What is your head game like? When all hell is breaking loose, can you remain calm and get done? Get your family to safety, get yourself to safety. Can you do that? Because even me experienced, sometimes panic situations happen or things happen and you get away from that and you have to pull yourself back in. You're like, oh my God, and you're grabbing and say, oh, well, I know I need to get this. Woosah. Relax. Move methodically. Move with some assurance as to what you're doing and authority in what you're doing, but do it very calmly. Start going through your knowledge base and things like that as you're moving through your situations. Check and recheck your bag, because sometimes we'll put things in these bags and we forgot that we put them in there, and you might be hiking or doing something and say, oh, I need this, and then you might say, I don't even have it. You never know, because you don't do a regular check on your bag. Other people put a lot of stuff in their bags. Some people have bags within bags, which is what I need to start doing more of, is have bags within bags to help me keep my things organized, so things are just not all over the place. Because you can have a lot of things buried in bags, and as you pull them out, you go like, oh, I forgot I had this, I forgot I had that. So get bags, put them in bags, label everything. One of the main things you always want to have marked and clear is your first aid. Your first aid is something that you want to be able to get to very quickly, and if you're injured and somebody comes along and you need help, they'll know, and you say, hey, I got some first aid stuff in my bag. You don't want them searching around for it, because in that time that they're searching around for it, you could be bleeding out. So you want those medical things to be properly labeled and clear, so people will know what they are. And however the next second thing you want to have quick access to, of course, is your self-defense. And then your water, your food, your shelter, etc., your change of clothes, all of that. So in bags like this, I call these kind of like camping bags, gray man bags, whatever term you want to use. This is about an 80-gallon bag. It has nice waist straps, adjustable waist straps, breathable bag. It has a lower back pad and upper back pad, so it breathes. You know, you have nice shoulder straps and cross strapping that you can use, and you got these little areas that you can hook flashlights to, whatever you want to put on here, keys, a knife, what have you. It's got a nice upper pouch, center pouch that you can stuff a lot of stuff into. And when I went camping, to be honest, I took this camping just to see. I took my go bag with me camping on purpose. I had my get home bag in my truck, which we're gonna do a video on get home bags. They're different than your ready bags. Your ready bags is when all shit goes to hell and you and your family gotta leave home. You're gonna take all your basic necessities. You're gonna have in here. You're gonna have some kind of waterproof bag that's gonna have maybe your passport, your IDs, your birth certificate, proof of your property, what have you, your marriage license. You want to have copies of that or originals of that and copies in a waterproof bag. And in most cases, if you can get one that's waterproof and fireproof, then I would suggest you do that, because when you leave, you don't want to leave those documents in a home that you might come back to that might not be standing, or it might be ransacked, or somebody else living in it at this point. You know what I mean? So you want to have those important things with you to prove when you do come back, that is my house. Here's this, and have something like a video stick or a thumb drive videoing you in your home, videoing the things that are in your home, videoing you and all, because then it comes down to your word against theirs. Even though you may have the paperwork or whatever that is, you can show video that this is my home. And you want to also do that for insurance purposes in case something happens to your house, flooding, fire, things like that, and you got to go to the insurance company and you say, well, hey, I had this kind of entertainment system, I had this kind of TV, I had this kind of dishwasher, what have you. A lot of times they be like, no, you didn't. And you say, well, no, here it is on video, I'm showing you. So video all your appliances, your electronics, your weapons, everything, that way, if you ever have to prove something in case of insurance, take pictures, save those pictures, and take video and pictures of you standing in front of your address, the whole nine. It's just an important thing to kind of carry with you. I mean, y'all could take it for what you will, So let's get into my bag. There are bags that we call gray man bags, and gray man bags are bags typically that you get that won't stand out to the general public. That's what gray man means, that you blend in. You're not walking around looking like somebody from a SWAT team or from the military or anything like that. You're just wearing a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, you got a fanny pack, or over the shoulder sling bag, or just a hiking bag or something like that. It's not camouflage, it's not military looking. All of those things will draw attention to you in the time of shift, and people are gonna be like, what's this guy or this girl doing? What are they doing? Look at how they're dressed, look at what they have. They're about that life. We need to keep an eye on them. Versus being somebody that blends in, where you walk past somebody every day and they just don't notice you, because why should they? They just like, oh, that's some dude walk down the street and they may or may not remember that you had a backpack on your back or not. They're just whatever, you know what I mean? So you want to have bags like that. Remember, the bigger the bags, you're going to be tempted to put more stuff in them. But remember, the more stuff that you put in them, the heavier they're going to be. Just keep that in mind. And if you're not in physical condition to carry those bags, then you're hurting yourself. You're going to be dumping supplies constantly because the bag is going to be too heavy. And you really want to ask yourself, what are the bare essentials that I need in my bag to make it and to move around? And this is why I took my bag on the camping trip, to see how many things that I went in my bag for that I used on the camping trip on a regular. And I went into this bag quite often. And also, when other people needed help that were on the camping trip, I went into this bag quite often to get them things that they needed to use. So I was like, okay, I think I did a pretty good job, you know. I also have a change of clothes in this bag. So keep that in mind too. Always have a few changes of clothes. Depending on your environment, you always want to have wool socks and remember, cotton kills when it gets wet. You don't want to, you know, cotton is hard to dry when it's wet. Wool is hot and a little itchy, but it dries quick. It keeps you warm at night, because even though it may be a nice sunny day that, you know, and it's 70, 80 degrees, so when temperatures drop at night, it can get really cold and you may have to change. You want to have a change of comfortable shoes. You want to have shoes that you can walk in and move around in and stuff like that. So you definitely want to have that. You want to have a comfortable pair of shoes. You also want to have in your bag a way to take care of your feet. If your feet go down and they start blistering and skin splitting and you're getting all types of skin growth and stuff between the toes and on the toes and all of that, it's hard for you to walk. And if you can't walk, you can't move. You're not traveling. And when those feet get bad, they work their way up to making those knees hurt. When those knees hurt, it starts to make those hips and back hurt. You know, I'm just saying it travel, you know, as they say, you know, crap rolls downhill. I was going to say the S word. I'm trying to stop from cussing. But, you know, crap rolls downhill, and that's how it typically starts, from the feet to the knees, from the knees to the lower back to the upper back, to like, oh my God, I can't make it. So make sure you have some goods in there to take care of your feet, keep them moisturized, keep down fungi and infections. And you want the same thing, because as they call it, crotch rot, as they old timers call it, swamp ass, all of that's a real thing for male and female. So you want to make sure that those male parts and lady parts are dry and clean. So you want to keep, you know, towels and wipes and things like that to kind of clean yourself up. And that's also a morale thing. You want to have things in your bag where you can freshen up, brush your teeth, comb your hair, put on a fresh thing, because it's a mental thing. If you're walking around in the same clothes and you stinking and you feeling down and out and your hair is all over the place and you get a sense of hopelessness. And when you can refresh yourself, trim your hair, wash yourself up, and smell decent, your mental state changes. You're like, you know, your whole outlook changes. So let's get into the bag. So we spent about 15 minutes talking about that. But those are important things that people don't think about when they're doing their go bags and ready bags, you know, and get home bags, you know. So let's go in the top. Let's see what we got here in the top. And again, I got to reorganize this. It's almost busting at the seams. Okay, light sticks. You know, these are good to have when you're somewhere camping or you're out and you go into a dark building. You might want to crack one of those and they'll illuminate. And if you don't have a flashlight, they're good. They're also good to mark paths and let people know where you are in case of emergency and stuff like that. So you have that. I have fire starting material, right? This helps start fire. It's pretty much nothing but wood shavings wrapped in wax and maybe a little fire starting material that when you light it, it'll burn immediately. Keep a little flask, you know, keep a little vodka, keep a little bourbon, keep a little whatever you want to keep in here. They're good to have. They might be good just to get some quick water or something like that. Some people say you can put your liquid courage in here, but I keep that. This is tissue on the go. You can get a lot of this like at Walmart and stuff like that. So if you're in that situation where some people don't say, I'm not wiping my butt with leaves or anything like that. That's another way of TP, having some instant TP and all you got to do with these is their tablets. You drop them in the water, they'll expand and you can wipe with them and stuff like that. Some of them just unravel, you pull them loose and you can use as facial towels or what have you. But if you want to wipe your behind, this is another way. And I always believe in redundancy. Have some male wipes, some dude wipes, some female wipes, and just toilet wipes. But remember, those things over time will dry out. So keep checking on them. If they're starting to get to the point where you think they're getting a little old, just start using them around the house or on yourself or when you're working in the yard or whatever, and use up as many of them as you can, and just put in a new bag. Just add another new bag, into your go bag. And as time moves on, the whole thing is about recycling, checking expiration dates on things, and just moving on. What did we talk about? Hygiene. Toothpaste, toothbrush. I use this a lot when I was out camping. This is one of the things I use constantly. I carried an extra toothbrush just in case I lost this one or somebody needed one. What did I say? Gold Bond for my feet, to keep my feet smooth, dry, clean, fungus-free, soft. What else is in here? Okay. This is a survival torch. Let me show you. So we take it out there. This is actually a flint and steel. And for those of y'all that don't know how to work these, we have courses on these and show you how to work these. And this is all it is. It's trying to get it all untangled here. It's a long rope, and this is the striker. And this is the little flint part, so it works kind of like a cigarette lighter. And you strike on this, and as you strike on this, it's supposed to set these little fibrous parts of a wick, if you will, like a candle wick. It's supposed to ignite on these and give you a flame, so you can light a fire or what have you. Now, what I found with these are good to have. See how that works? What I found is these are good to have. The downside is when this rope starts to dry out, it's hard for it to catch. So you might want to put some kind of wax on here. You might want to get some kind of semi-flammable material that you can kind of saturate this in. Another thing that kind of works really well is the tiki torch oil. Tiki torch oil, that's flammable. So if you soak some of these fibers in the tiki torch oil, or soak the rope in the tiki torch oil and keep it closed up, when you strike, it should catch. It's just a recommendation, but these things are awesome and they're good to have. So let's see what else is in the bag of goodies. Soap. Just soap. For the body, shampoo, body soap. Camp lights, you can get these at Harbor Freight, and they work really well. Batteries go down here, so always remember to check your batteries. If you're not using them for a long time, then go in the compartment where you keep the batteries, unscrew this, and just flip your batteries so they're not draining or bleeding out. A lot of people's gear gets messed up because they'll keep batteries and flashlights and stuff for a long time, and when they go, the batteries have exploded and the acid and the rust has started eating away at everything. Now, there is a way to clean that. Some steel wool, a steel brush, and cleaning vinegar. Vinegar cleaning vinegar works very well when those things happen. You saturate it in cleaning vinegar and you brush it or scrub it off, and they'll typically come back and work again. A compass. A compass. You want to keep a compass because if GPS goes down, you want to know, which way is true north. I prefer water compasses over magnetic compasses. I mean, both are good. Keep them both. Keep a topography type compass. Hold on. So this is the Proster, and it has, I'm not going to get into compass reading, but I'm just want to show you. It has a sighting glass where you could sight and target your directions and stuff like that. It gives you elevations and everything like that. And also keep a map in your go bags and ready bags. Keep a state map that marks your highways, your back roads, your local roads, and you also want to keep a few maps on streets. If you live in the city, you need to know where certain streets are, what 100 block this is, what street runs into this street, the whole gambit. So you want to keep maps on your local area, and you want to keep state maps so you know what all your highways, your connecting expressways, all of that. Some of them will even show train routes. So you might want to definitely keep that in mind. What else we got in here? I got mosquito oil because I live in kind of a rural area, so with a lot of woods and stuff. So we keep mosquito and tick oil. I get these as often as I can, little lightweight carabiners, because they come in handy when you want to hang your bags up and keep them up off the ground. They come in handy when you're trying to pitch temporary tents or just carry extra stuff on your bag. Like, remember I told you with the straps here to sit on the front of the bag, you can hook one of these on here and hook your light to it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep stuff like this. My wife makes this mosquito oil, so if you're a part of Farm Fresh, I just watched a hawk snatch up something out of my woods here. That's but anyway, the hawk just, okay, whatever it is, it's lunch now. But my wife makes this, so if you remember Farm Fresh, this is on the site. We make these, and we also make pizza, so this is pretty much a little bug bite kit where you can suck out stingers and stuff like that. That's pretty much what this is for. If you get stung by something, that's what it's for. But I also have stuff that's like afterbite that works really well. So if we get bit or stung by something, you rub it on there and it takes a lot of the histamine out. Because usually when you swell up and like that, it's due to a histamine, kind of like an allergic reaction. Okay, and nothing else in here but more glow sticks and cotton. Cotton. Now, what's in this cotton? This is another way to start a fire. Remember, redundancy works a lot of times. Have more than one way to start a fire, and I'm glad I checked. Look what I found out. See, this is what I'm saying, checking the bag. My cotton bag has a hole in it, which means my cotton has dried out. So now that I know that, I'm going to re-soak my cotton in Vaseline, put it in a fresh bag, and go from there. See, that's why you have to check your bags. Flashlight, it's magnetic. I keep it. I've had this a long time. Again, I might have flipped the batteries on this, but it looks like this might be dead now. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad I'm going through this with you guys, because now, the last time I checked this was actually working. There it is. It's just low. You see what I'm saying? It's not making good contact, because I thought that I did change these batteries, but these take the little what we call button batteries, the little button batteries and stuff like that. But again, you want to check your gear. You don't want to be out here and stuff's not working. So that's pretty much it. I got a I'm not a huge fan of these, but the temporary rain ponchos, they're good when you don't have anything else. You could usually find these at some sporting goods stores, places like Harbor Freight, and some checkouts. You know, you go to some stores and some checkouts, they'll have a bunch of these sitting right around the checkout. Just grab some. They're not a good long-term solution. They're a good temporary solution in case it rains and you just need something to cover you up and cover your head up so you're not totally getting drenched. You know, they typically are one size fits all, but I've seen these split and tear. Sometimes people carry contractor bags and punch a hole through contractor bags. I remember as a concert promoter and also being a touring DJ and doing house and techno parties and stuff like that. When it would rain, a lot of the kids would dance in the mud, and they would go in their vehicles and they would come back with a bunch of trash bags, punch their heads and arms through it, and they kept on partying. So that's just, hey, you know, you use what works, right? And of course, you know, hand warmers, foot warmers. I keep a lot of these things too. So hand warmers and foot warmers and stuff like that, in case it gets cold. And you can find these at the same places: Home Depot, you know, Harbor Freight, Academy Sports, you know, Bass Fisherman. You know, you can find these things anywhere. So yeah. So if you guys, I'm knocking stuff over. If you guys got any questions on anything that I'm discussing, please, you know, just comment in the chat. If you want to share some things that you have in your bag, you know, if you live, cause see, my wife and I live semi-rural to rural. We're semi-rural to rural. So we're around a lot of woods. We're still around a lot of wildlife and things of that nature, and different changes in temperature. It might be real humid. It might be a real humid and damp, and it may go from real humid and damp to extremely hot to extremely cold in a matter of hours. So those are the things that, you know, I want you guys to keep in mind. I'm kind of gradually repacking my bag as I talk to you guys, only because I don't want to be trying to put all this stuff up later. But I typically keep all of this stuff. This is my, what I call my right away, let me grab it right away type pouch thing, you know, and stuff like that. And I just put all this in there because I know I'm going to be grabbing it like right away. I'm going to need it right away. And I just know where to, you know, I know where to go, you know, to get this stuff. And this is redundant too, because in my vehicle, I have pretty much duplicates of everything that I have in here. Except it might be on a smaller scale because I'm trying to, as they say, get home, not, you know, not camp out anywhere. So now we're going to go into the belly of the beast right here. And remember what I said, rural versus semi-rural. Some of the things I'm going to have in my bag, you may not have in your bag in the city. So my saw, you know, in case I'm out in the woods, and we live in the woods, so this gets a lot of use. You know, this is the newer one, so it's still got some bruises and stuff on it from using it, but yeah, it gets used. There's nothing in my bag that I ain't used. I keep a good knife. I'm gonna do a review on this knife. I'm going to do a review on this knife. These guys are based out of Georgia, and It's the Whelen. I love this knife. I'm not a huge fan of the case, but we're gonna get into that. But this is a good bushcrafting knife. I'll give you a quick show of it, but we're gonna get into it. I use this knife quite often. I love it. I love their products so far. But again, I'm gonna do a review on this knife and a few other knives. This is another good knife to have. It can hook right. It has a quick clip that you can just hook it right on there. This is good for cutting and processing wood and stuff like that. It's about a 4-inch blade, it's full tang and, nice sturdy grip, nice handle to it. And it's good for processing meat and stuff like that. If you want to cut and, let's say you have to process a deer or a raccoon or a squirrel, hey, time's getting like that, and you may have to do that. And also, Farm Fresh also offers classes on processing. If you want to learn how to process rabbits, deers, raccoons, yep, Farm Fresh, Collectively Sustainable. So make sure you join those groups. It's on the App Store. Farm Fresh is on your App Store. Just go to your App Store. Farm Fresh 24/7. I keep these. Zip ties come in handy when you want to tie up stuff, bind stuff. They're good for tents and tarps and the whole nine. I always keep a scarf for sweat or bandana to wipe my face, and we know we can use these to filter water, adding dirt, sand, charcoal, and all of that, and making our own water filter. This is another bushcrafting tool I use, and I made things with in our community, and it's a little auger, and yeah, this is a whole nother class we'll get into, but I'm just showing you I keep that with me. I've used it, it's put in work. People in my community have seen me use this, so they'll tell you I ain't lying. And just a washcloth, again, sweat, something to put over my face, fan off bugs, mosquitoes, and stuff like that. That's how you always know. That's how you always know Southern people, right? Because we gonna have some kind of rag or towel, and we just gonna be doing this. And just keeping off them damn mosquitoes. Mosquitoes and flies, I do despise. Okay. I'm not gonna say the rest of that because my African American community knows where the rest of that goes. But anyway, so let me close this up. Yeah. And again, I keep those in a quick access area. We're gonna go into the second part of the bag, and this bag actually extends. So if you guys can see this, there are straps that you can unhook, and it'll let the bag open up some. So now we're gonna go into the belly of the beast. Redundancy. Redundancy, more fire starting material. More fire starting material. And let me correct myself. Because y'all saw it and I didn't see it. Burn kit, my bad. This is a burn kit. I thought this was my bag of fire starting material, but this is a burn kit. You want to keep burn kits, so if you're starting campfires, fires, or something like that, or you come across somebody that might have been injured in a fire, whether you dragged them out of a car, building caught on fire, they burn themselves at a campsite or a work site or whatever, burn kits are good, to have with you so you can help treat Keep a first aid book. Stay on top of first aid. Even if you don't take the courses, you can take them online. You can buy the books and practice. That's why when we get in panic situations, we're constantly second guessing ourselves because we don't put these things into practice. So practice bandaging, practice using splints and all of that. You know what I mean? I keep an extra set of goggles. These are just safety goggles. You know, if I'm in an area where there's a lot of dust blowing, debris, these will be good to have. You know, if you have just a face mounted gas mask, but you don't have anything to protect your eyes, while you're breathing well, you still want to protect your eyes. So you might want to put this on in combination with that type of gas mask. If you follow my timeline, you'll see that my wife and I have different type of full face gas masks. So, you know, check that video out. It's on my timeline, the video line here. What did I tell you? First aid. And what is it? It's clearly marked. So my first aid kit, and I'm not really going to get into everything that's in my first aid kit, but there's a splint in here. There's alcohol in here. There's peroxide in here. There are pills in here. There's scissors in here. There are knives. There are extra little knives in here, and mini flashlights and bandages and band-aids and small packets of burn cream and the whole. This is emergency whistle, so if you're out, and it also has a water compass and it's accurate. And inside you can carry waterproof matches and all of that kind of stuff to help light a fire. And if you're in trouble, you know, and you want somebody to find you, you can keep blowing that whistle in case of an emergency. So every so many, you know, yards you walk or so many feet you walk, you keep blowing the whistle, and yelling help or whatever you want to do, you know. And it's orange in case you drop it. So if you happen to drop it, it's orange, you'll be able to find it. And you can wear it around your neck because it has a paracord for you to wear it around your neck. And you might need the cordage for something else, you know. This is my frog's tog right here. This, remember I showed you the little poncho that you can get for 99 cents or $2 or whatever. This is a real full body poncho inside of a bag. And this is one that I trust. There are some better and that are even better than this, that cost a little bit more money. Again, you get what you pay for. So this is about a middle ground, but I like this one better because it's more durable. It has a bag to keep it in. It dries very quickly. Is it tear and rip resistant? No. You know, it can snag, it can tear, but it's 100% better than the first ones I showed you. But if you don't have anything, those are the ones, hey, use them until you don't buy as. I always encourage people, if you're going to buy them, buy a bunch of them because they tear up real easy, they split real easy, or what have you. Or you can take a couple of them and mend them together and make something bigger. But for all time, and you can get these online as well. These are good good ponchos. What else is in here? I gotta open this up a little more. Trying to get it out, y'all. So yeah, remember I said keep bags in bags. Now you see this is open, right? Well, remember I showed you guys in that first part of the video my soap and all that. That soap and stuff was sitting in this part of the bag. So now that we're doing that, I'm gonna put it up right now. What do you think about that? Put everything back in its place. So this is what I was talking about. This went in here. Now, what I have in here, and these might be expired, so I'm gonna go through these and get rid of them. is Benadryl. So Benadryl is something good to have in case you have an allergic reaction, a bee sting or something like that. Lysol is Lysol, guys. We know what Lysol is. A Be Ready waterproof pad. So if you want to write something in the rain or whatever, you can write on this pad. This is a reflective mirror that you can use to help start a fire or signal for help or whatever the case may be. People that live in an urban environment, you're probably going to have these water keys. You can get these at Home Depot, sometimes Harbor Freight, any home improvement store. You know what I'm saying? You could probably find these water keys. And what they're for is, like, if you guys have walked around and been around big buildings or skyscrapers, and you're walking around in an urban environment and you're trying to find some fresh water, a lot of times during a shift or something like that, or when water gets bad, there's still a lot of water left in the system. Those systems are pretty much pressurized water in case of fire and stuff like that, but they still have a lot of water left in the system. So you could go open up those boxes, turn on the spigot, and fill your canteen or whatever you want to do, you know, that you have for your water collection. So just keep that in mind. If you're at home and something happens like that, you still got water in your toilet tank. People go, ugh, but yeah, you got water in your toilet tank and you still got water in your hot water tank. So if you have a hot water tank and, you know, something happens, you still got, you know, 55, 60 gallons of water left in that tank that you could drain. Paracord. I can't tell you how many times people ask me for paracord at the campsite. Another type of water key. You know, so because some of them are different, they have went to this phase where they started getting hip to people having water keys, and because people were not using them in the case of an emergency, they were just starting to turn on people's water and not cut it off right. And you know, people always screw up something. They always screw up a good thing, and they'll start turning on the building's water and don't cut it off all the way, and the building's got water running down the sidewalk, and you know, they're getting fined for that, and they had to start changing the locks on the boxes and stuff like that. All right. In this bag, I keep my water filtration, you know, when I want to filter out my water, you know, and things like that. So yeah, this is my Sawyer. I like Sawyer better because it gives you a water collection bag, or you can attach this to the straw to a bottle. Life Straw and stuff like that is one of those things where you have to lay over into the water or the stream, and you can drink straight from the stream, or you can collect water in a plastic bottle. So I would recommend keeping an empty plastic bottle with you, and you can screw the straw on top of that and drink from that. All right. I keep a little mini tool kit, and this is just full of screwdrivers and mini nut drivers and stuff like that. So that's all it is, you know, in case I gotta unloosen or tighten something or fix something. I keep a pair of gloves. I always keep a pair of gloves, you know, and rubber gloves. Again, and here's just extra knives and stuff like that. That's kind of irrelevant, you know. I got throwing knives. I got, yeah, you know, I collect knives, so I guess you gathered that. But you know, that's all that's really in here, and my water stuff. So, and I put all these things in bags, so I know when I'm looking for them, I just know where to go. When you know, I got 2 or 3 areas that I keep paracord. So again, bags and bags. Remember what I said, bags and bags. I keep a mini cook kit. This runs off of butane. I'm trying to open it up here. You guys can see that. It runs off of butane. And it's just a little burner. And what you do is you take this part, you hook it to your butane container, and then the bottom part is what you set your pot on. It has a few wings here. These little wings, you open them up and you set your pot on it and you boil. I'll do a review on this as well. I've had this a while. I've used it. It's awesome. Everything I have, I use. Little mosquito hat, you know, when it, you know, it's also been treated with flea and tick spray and bug spray. So, you know, you could buy the, how do you pronounce it? Paraffin. I'll show you. I think I mentioned it in one of my other videos, maybe my camp out videos, but you could spray a lot of your clothes and hats with that, let it dry. And even when you wash, the stuff will still stay on there and last a couple of weeks. And it's just something to keep away ticks and gnats and mosquitoes the best they can. And this is good to have when it's hot out or whatever and you're trying to shade yourself, because mosquitoes are the biggest annoyance to people, you know. Down here is just a change of clothes, so I'm not pulling out, but I got underwear, extra pairs of pants, another belt, extra shirts. What else I got in here? On this side, remember, is my document bag. I also carry, I don't know if it's in this one or the one in the vehicle, we have what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank, guys. It's bags that you can put your electronics and stuff in case there's an EMP. So they're EMP proof bags. So if solar flares hit or EMPs hit, it protects your batteries, it protects your laptops, it protects your tablets. So we keep a couple of those in our vehicle. We have a couple of big ones for bigger devices. We have them for our cell phones and stuff like that. So those are the things that we keep in here primarily. One of the things that I thought I had in here, to see again, checking the bag, and that I didn't replace. I want to make sure before I speak on that. So let me double check, because I may be speaking on something that may not be true. Nope, it's true. One of the things that I have to put back in this bag, it is in my vehicle bag. I'll say this. My get home bag, it's in my get home bag. I didn't replace it here, but I know where it is. When we went camping, I took it out of this bag and I put it in one of my camping bins. You want to have some dry food, Mountain House, Be Ready food, any type of dry food that you just need to add water to. Is good to have versus you carrying canned goods and stuff like that. A lot of people will carry some canned goods, but remember, canned goods carry weight. The advantage to carrying canned goods is, one, you can recycle the cans and use them for stoves and little torpedo stoves and stuff like that, and I'll show you all how to do that in another video. I actually got the cans saved and ready to do that video. They've been sitting on my wife and I's sink for maybe probably a month now, and my wife's like, "Are you ever gonna do the video with these cans?" So that's what those cans are for, to show you how to use them in different ways. But yeah, that's the advantage of having. You can heat your food up in the can when you have no other way to heat it up. Do remember the lining in some of those cans do have chemicals and things in there. And you might want to burn them out before you start using them that way. So yeah, that coating that they have in the can can be toxic, when it's introduced to heat, unless you burn them out. But in some cases, when it's a drastic emergency and you have no other thing and you just got to heat your food in that can, hey man, just eat. And then clean it out, burn it out, and then if you get more rations or anything like that, you can use it as a way to collect water, heat up your coffee. And that's another thing you want to keep in your bag. Some feel-good things: coffee, chocolate, energy bars, games, little games, or get card games that, like, one of the card games, I don't know if I showed you, was in the top part of my bag, and the cards actually help you with your environment. So you can get cards that are first aid cards that you can play games with, and they teach you first aid. You can read the card and they'll teach you how to bandage a wound. You can get other cards if you're out in the woods, and they teach you how to process wood, how to tie knots, how to identify certain plants to eat or to help you out or something like that, how to identify animals, snakes, the whole nine. They have cards like that you can play the games and or look at the cards, and they'll give you a breakdown and pictures of what's going on and what you need to know. So those are also good to have. So you want to have some feel-good things, and if you have children, you definitely want to have a mini power bank and stuff like that. So you want to carry a mini power bank. The mini power bank the reason why the mini power bank is not particularly in this bag for me is because I have one in my vehicle, I have one in my vehicle get home bag, and I have one in my shoulder sling bag. So I got 3 of them, and I have a way to recharge those. So I have a fold out solar charger that I could fold out and recharge all of those devices. Some of my solar banks come with a solar charger built in, so a lot of times I would just set it on the roof of my truck, on the payload of my truck, and it will charge itself up. I would set it on the dashboard of my vehicle and stuff like that. Because for the most part, the reason why I don't put a lot of that in here, because for the most part, I know if we're leaving home, I'm going right to my vehicle. I'm pretty much going right to my vehicle where all of those things are at anyway. If it's a situation where we know that we may not be able to use the vehicle, what we do know is those things are already in bags or what have you, and we can either go through those bags and pick what we need out of them, or we'll figure out a way to carry those bags with us, that extra bag with us. So, but you definitely want to have food, water, some form of shelter, whether it be a tarp. This bag, we do keep contractor bags in there, in case we need to pack them with leaves and have something soft to sleep on, have something to shelter ourselves in case of the rain, or just build a shelter with them. Most of our kits have duct tape. We keep duct tape because, as they say, fuck it, duck it. If there's a problem, take the duct tape, patch the hole, take the duct tape, bind up something, take the duct tape, and bond something together, So always keep a nice roll of duct tape or Gorilla tape or what have you, and good waterproof tape. So Flex Seal and Gorilla makes waterproof tape. They're good to repair your tents with. I have a video on that if you haven't checked that out. If you got holes in your tent and want to repair your tent, rather than buy another tent, I'll show you how to repair your tents using those things. So I'm hoping I'm getting to everything. So have a way to charge your devices. Have a way for fire, redundancy, cigarette lighters, flint and steel, because even in matches, even in my first aid kit, I still have other ways to start fires. There's a flint and steel in here, there's a lighter in here, there are matches in here. So you want to have different ways to start fires, and stay warm. In some cases, if you have a small, compact, ready pop-up tent, 1-person, 2-person tent that's lightweight, and you want to add that to your go bag, you can. You know, you don't want to overload yourself. Of course, you don't want to draw attention to yourself, because then, you know, with that, you might want to have a sleeping bag. You might want to have if you don't have a sleeping bag, at the very minimum, you want a sleeping pad. And if you can't, then that's what your garbage bags are for. You can gather up leaves, brush, anything that's soft that you can kind of lay on and try and keep warm. Reflective blankets are very good. You know, those silver blankets, like I showed you, the orange blankets and tarps, they have blankets, emergency blankets. And again, those are in another bag, which is my get home bag. This bag is more so for clothes, documents, food, emergency first aid, and, you know, getting somewhere. Keep a surplus of cash. I don't know everybody's economic situation, be it $100, $200, $1,000. That is money that you put away and you do not touch for any reason. And I'm a witness to that. Me and my wife have blown through our money like that a few times in case of emergency, and we're very angry with ourselves, and we're in the process now of rebuilding that stash and definitely not messing with it again. And I mean that with everything on my soul. We're not messing with that money again. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what happened. We're not messing with that again. So unless we absolutely have to. You want to keep singles and 5s. You don't want a lot of big bills. You don't want a lot of big 10s and 20s and 50s and $100 bills. Why? Because if you're bartering or you're working with somebody, they may not have change to give you, and you may really need something, and they're not willing to give it to you. They say, hey, I want $2, and you say, well, I got a $100 bill. Either you're gonna be upping that $100 bill for something that costs $2, or your prayers, they're gonna have change and they're willing to give it to you. But if you have singles, you can count them out. If you have keep a small bag of coins, because you might be in a situation where you might hit some vending machines and you can feed the vending machine coins, you know, to get you a bag of chips, a candy bar, a pop, what have you, you know. In our other bag, which I'm gonna show you, we keep breaching tools. So we have to breach something or get into something, but that's a whole nother video. Right now, we're on these bags, which is just to get you from point A to point B, you know, get you to grandmom's house, get you to a friend's house, get you to your other homestead. And you got your documents, you got some food, you got some first aid, you got some navigation, you got your maps, and you got your change of clothes and all of that, and that's going to help you get from point A to point B. Your get home bag is a whole nother scenario, and that's just enough supplies in that bag to get you from wherever your vehicle is stranded at to getting you back home to safety until you can come up with another plan. Your over-the-shoulder bags, your everyday carry bags, I'll do a video on those as well. But I hope this video helps you out, and gave you some things to think about. And again, everything that glitters ain't gold, so don't get caught up in all these hypes with these militarized looking bags, and you know, all these rugged, you know, macho looking bags and all of that. And, you know, these 100-gallon bags and 90-gallon bags, because remember, the bigger the bag, the more you're going to be tempted to stuff in it. And if you're not prepared to carry it, that bag is going to be heavy as hell. And if you still want to have those things and you still want to carry those things, put that bag on your back, walk around your yard, walk around your woods, walk around your block, and get used to carrying that bag. Take it to the health club with you and get on the treadmill and just walk with that backpack on your back, you know, or whatever you got to do. Weight it down, you know, and use it, you know, get used to it. If you out here doing your yard work and you're blowing leaves, raking leaves, cutting grass, put that backpack on and do your yard work and see how long you last with it, because that's another thing you got to think about. You may have your backpack on and you still may have to do some physical stuff, processing wood, breaching a building, you know, doing first aid, you know, crossing a river or a lake, you know, and you have that bag on your back. So if you're doing things around the house that you do every day or in the yard every day and you got that backpack on and you're still able to saw wood, cut grass, paint the house or whatever, you're conditioning your body to get used to that bag and to get used to the weight that's in it. And remember, recycle, check. You saw here firsthand how some things that I ran into, just showing you in this video, that I need to replace or I need to address, or things that I forgot, or things that I need to put back in here that I took out. So I'm glad we did this video because it helped me and I hope it helped you. Please like and subscribe to your boy, share. And I'm going to be back with more videos about bags. We're going to be eventually getting into weaponry, crossbows, bow and arrows, rifles, handguns, the whole nine. We're getting ready to get into all of those series and stuff like that, and some more vlogs of where me and my wife travel to and what we do and things that we find interesting and stuff like that. So the only way you're gonna know is to like, subscribe, and tap that bell so you're notified when we do it. I notice a lot of people come on my videos, and I can see by the views, people are viewing the videos, and I'm getting 300, 400, 500 views on certain things, 30 views, 60 views. The thing is, those are people taking the information and not giving me a like. They're taking the information and they're not giving me a subscribe. And it don't cost you nothing to do that, man. It don't cost you nothing. If you're going to take the information and learn from it or get anything from it, at least give me a like. And if you really like what I'm doing, give me a subscribe. I mean, that's fair. That's love. That's called contractional love, interchanging. You know what I mean? You know, if 300 and 400 of you are watching my videos, then I should be reflecting that in likes and subscribers. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm out.